What's going on, guys? I got a lot of requests for people asking me how I did the intro for the Ultra Hardcore Hermitcraft Season 2, so that's what I'm going to be doing for you today. It's actually fairly simple once you get it broken down. So we're going to talk about the programs that you have to use to do it, the different steps you have to take. We're going to be basically doing one of these scenes from scratch because I deleted my folder, so I'm going to take you through the entire process, start to finish, of how I did it. Now, the different programs you're going to be needing are whatever video editing program you use. I've got Vegas here, as you can see. We've also got, I wonder if I can select it, we got Photoshop, that's going to be necessary as well. And the last one is going to be Blender, which I have yet to load up here. So we'll pop open Blender and get to work on some of the basics. So you can tell when we look at our, let's just prep this, you can tell when we look at our Photoshop thing, and actually I'm going to turn my webcam off, simply because I would like you to be able to see the entire screen. This is composed of a few different elements. I got each one separated into, I guess, 5, although that shouldn't be there. Each one composed into 4 different elements. We've got basically the background, the characters, and then the 2 different pieces of text. So it's basically background, foreground text. So you can tell the background is pretty simple. All you got to do is go into Minecraft and take a picture. So let's do that right now. So we've jumped into a random Minecraft world of mine. I want to make sure this is in high definition, so we're getting a full screen picture of this. And I don't know exactly what we want. We'll probably keep it fairly simple here. So we got a nice sunset in the background. Let's work with that. We'll keep it mostly flat. We don't want any of this grass to be in the way. And just get a full screen screenshot, just F2, normal Minecraft screenshot. So let's close down Minecraft. We are going to be making sure the recording looks just fine. We're going to be popping open the Minecraft screenshots folder and looking for the picture we just took. In this case, it's this one. Open with Adobe Photoshop. There we go. Now from there, we just want to blur this thing. So I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, probably Gaussian. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Not quite that much. Let's zoom this. Well, that's actually kind of a good zoom level right there. Just barely a little bit blurred. This is to give the... Oh, it probably needs a little more blurring than that, to be perfectly honest. Let's try this again. Filter, blur, Gaussian, and I guess try back up with the 5. Yeah, there we go. That's too much blurring. Basically, all we want to do is make it look like the camera is focused on the characters in the foreground, and all of this is just the background. I may even end up cropping some of this, but we'll worry about that once we start getting our characters done. So basically, the background is in place. Now what we need to do is load up some characters. First, you need to get a Minecraft character rig. Really not all that difficult to do. Let's just look up Minecraft rig Blender. So the one I'm settling on is the very first result that's not in the forums. It's this one, rmdnice.net. That's what I'm using, but that's just basically because it's got a Minecraft simple rig. It's simple, nothing special. It's just what we want our Minecraft characters, what the basic Minecraft character model is without having to build it ourselves. That's the whole point of this thing. So we see the model name is character. The bone structure is called bones character. So we're going to open that up in our own rig here. Let's append rmdnice, Minecraft rig simple, object, and then bones character and whatever he was called. I forget what it was called. It's just called character, right? So, character. There we go. Append that, and then we've got a pretty simple little Steve to look at here. Let's load up the camera. Actually, let's move this light a little bit closer. Do a quick preview to make sure. Yeah, there we go. We got just a perfect, normal, simple Steve. So now we're going to take him and we're going to change his animation skin to be that of a character. So I'm going to use another program on the interwebs here. We're going to do Minecraft Skin Grabber. I forget what this thing's name is actually called, just Skin Grabber. That makes sense. And this is how we get any character skin. So I'm just going to type in Spumwackles Go. And then suddenly I've got my suited skin. So we're going to download that, save image as... whatever, Spumwackles, and then pop that guy, or load that guy up as our texture for this thing. Oh, starting to have too many programs over here now. Got our simple Blender file, yep. So we want to ditch that, open the new one. We're gonna do skins, we're gonna look for Spumwackles, is right there, and this should work, yep. that is what we got to do. Now all we really have to do is move the camera into position somewhere. Give him like a little action pose. We don't know what exactly we want to do, but remember our background is not going to include the ground, so we can't include his feet. This is just like in our... Well, there's some ground right here. But he has to be pretty close to the camera to make it not look screwy, because I don't want to have to align my character with these blocks at all. So you can get away with a lot of stuff as long as you don't show the bottom half. So we got the rig selected here. Let's say he's looking at the camera. Maybe he's got his arms crossed in some fashion or another. And really, this just comes with Blender practice. Let's turn you down this way. Turn down for rigs. And then, I don't know, the crossed arm doesn't look like it's doing it for me. Maybe he could be holding something. We gotta have him holding something. Just if you want to hold something, all it really requires is downloading another rig. Or maybe he's got his arms up in the air. Yeah, let's just keep it simple. He's got his arms up in the air like he just don't care. Have him bending back a little bit here. Same thing with that body, legs apart just a scotch, even though this probably isn't even going to be noticeable. Get a quick preview, and there we go. We're going to have another simple light because you can see the underside of his chin is all black right there. We don't want that. I'm just going to duplicate this light and bring it a little bit lower. Make it a little bit weaker, something like 0.2, so it's basically shadow. We're not going to have a ray shadow on that. And there we go. Now we can see the underside of Spumwackle's face here. Going to make the scene. Layer. No sky. And then preview again. Now we have a completely transparent background. So we're going to export this image. Just going to go ahead and export it as arms up. There we go. And anywhere is fine, I guess. Actually, let's just put this in armed Denise right now. No, let's keep it close to our other Photoshop file. So media, video, Spumwack, ZZ Media is fine with me. Save the image there. Open up in here. We're going to load that image up. Not Wimpy Sheep. ZZ Media. Arms up. Copy all of you. I don't want to have the crop tool selected. Copy all of you. We're going to paste. It's a little small. That's fine. We can drag it to be just a little bit bigger here. Have it be about that big. That makes sense to me. It's going to seem like you're going to lose some quality, but YouTube reduces quality anyway, and I think I just sort of want to put him on the right side here. I'm going to use one more website, and that is going to be the Minecraft text website. Let's open that up. And we want this to say Spumwackles, because that is my name. So we'll have it be in extra large text, and we can just make it small as we need to. Get rid of 3D style view. Right, Spumwack. There we go. We're going to download that, just like we have with the others. It looks like it is complete. We're going to... What happened? Save file. Thank you. Now it's done. There we go. Show this in folder. We're going to open that up with Photoshop as well. Control-Alt, copy, and then paste it on the screen. I just realized I'm cutting off the left side of my hand, so I have to be right there. Look at this flat bit right there. So he does have to be right up against the corner. And as far as the name goes, let's have it be about right here. Rotate it just a little bit to put some personality into... Actually, let's rotate it on this side. There we go. There we go. That definitely looks like it fills up a little more of the screen. Shame we can't see the sun, but, you know, you can mess with that type of thing in your own video. So now we've basically got all 3 elements we need. We wouldn't need the 4th element like in this one, except we've only got one person. You can tell that's one name, the people, and then 2 names. So in this one, we're going to export these one at a time. So we'll start by this one. Exporting it as a JPEG is fine because of the background. We do not need the massive file size that this is going to give us. So JPEG high for the quality. We're going to throw this back into, oh, I don't know, ZZ Media. Oops, not raw footage. Throw this into ZZ Media with the other one, and we're going to call this, I don't know, Tricks of the Craft 1. Because I didn't have a folder for this. Now we're going to save the character as a separate file. He has to be a PNG so that we can see the alpha back here. You can see it's dotted now. We're going to do Tricks of the Craft 2. And lastly, for the name, we're going to save this as Tricks of Craft 3. Load up all our files. Now it's back into Vegas we go. We have to pop open that folder. If I can find it. Here we go. ZZ Media, TOC is, here we go, 1, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead and drop those in Vegas. I can't do that yet. They're quite small. You notice if I drop them in, they're so tiny. They take up a fraction of a second each. That's just my my Vegas settings from the last science video I did. So let's make them all a little bit longer here. Let's just do it the lazy way. And we're going to mix these layers so that they all go in the correct order. So we've got the background on bottom. Notice as we full screen it, it's sort of blurry back there, but it's not blurry. It's nice and crispy front in the foreground there. And all we have to do now is give this a little bit of crop animations to give it a little bit of style. So for the background, we're going to make it go slowly zoom in over the course of the clip. For the character, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to have it slowly zoom in. This is a keyframe at the end of the clip. Zoom in and a little more to the right. Give a little more personality there. And the text, we're going to do the same thing. It's going to zoom in, except we're also going to rotate it just a little bit. So now when we watch this thing from the beginning, well, it goes really fast. Woo! So, we should probably drag this open and then drag... 6 seconds is even too far. Let's say 3 seconds is probably sufficient. That's probably good. And then recrop, we have to drag our keyframes all the way back out. And this will just make that animation go much slower. Keyframe out, and keyframe out. There we go. And now we get that slow rising look that we have to this entire thing. So that's basically the gist of what I did for the portion with the characters. You can tell I took a little bit of liberties in some areas. If I wanted to include some ground in the foreground, I made sure to do that here. You can tell I also just loaded up a different Minecraft rig file that I downloaded from someone. I can't remember. They're really old, honestly. I don't think the people who made these rigs that I used even upload anymore. Actually, no, I used Mineways for this. I forgot. Anyways, you can see I just included some blocks in the... Let's get rid of those. I just included some blocks in the foreground here so that they wouldn't be blurry like the rest of it. But if you get rid of that foreground, you can see it's really just all water. There was no actual ground there. That was just all included in Blender. So other than that, I really just added the music to it. I think that's fairly self-explanatory. It just sort of comes with knowing what music you can and cannot use. I happen to know that Approaching Nirvana likes their stuff, and I figured I wanted a nice rising tone to be the background music for this. Something that really sounded scary and had that Inception-sounding bwah sound. Although I will say, actually, let me load up that song real quick. So I've dropped the Approaching Nirvana song here in the track, as you can see. It's fairly simple to choose when you want to switch to a particular moment like this. That's when something big is about to hit. But a lot of people were like, oh my god, this song killed my ears when I hit these parts. And I actually edited down the volume of these parts significantly. So I'm going to play this from the beginning real quick so you can hear it. And I'm going to warn you, this may like kill your speaker. This gets really loud. So I want you to hear like the version, what it sounds like. What's going on there? I want you to hear what it sounds like before lowering the volume. Right? You can barely hear it. And the waveform right here is just... It gets way too loud. Way too loud. Like, as a standalone song, it's kind of fine, but I don't think I agree with that. So I actually took each part with the wahs and I dropped the volume down significantly. And then you can raise the volume of the entire track. And let's make it slowly rise up a little more at the end. Yeah, that's a little more bearable. I know you can still hear it climbing in volume. I have to speak up now. So you can tell, yeah, it took a lot of work to actually work this audio. But I think that about covers the basics of this thing. Let me double check and see if there was anything else in there that maybe people wanted to know how to do. So it looks like the rest was mostly self-explanatory. Just the UHC 2 logo overlaid on top of the screen. I'm sure you know how to do that. If you know how to do this, it was just a Photoshop image. Pretty simple. The last thing, though, that people might want to have known how to do is the camera shake that I included. So we're going to use a different screenshot. Let's not use that one. It is a silly screenshot. And let's pop open the Minecraft folder and see a good screenshot I'm happy with using. Probably lightning. Why not? That'll make an interesting background. I actually did one of these lightning shots as a little fan art for iJevin. One of his streams. So let's just make that the new background. It'll be really neat looking. A new background for Spumwack raising his arms. Bah! Kind of cool little intro. So, but instead of doing this quick zoom in on this one, we're going to do the camera shake that I do at certain points, and that's actually not hard to do at all. We're going to take this thing, we're going to zoom it in just a little bit. We're going to zoom in down on the keyframe menu here, and we're going to move over by 2, move the camera, over by 2, move the camera, over by 2, move the camera, over by 2, move the camera. We're going to do this for however long we want this clip to be. And I'm literally just picking a random direction to move this camera in. And 2 keyframes just happens to be about as fast as the human eye can really notice these things. 1 keyframe apart, and it would just move too fast. So I like to do 2. 2 frames, and then now when you watch this thing, it'll be pretty quick here, but start again. See, it's got the shake, it's got the vibrate that I had at the certain points, right when the music drops. You get this, and you get the whoa. Actually, I lied. They should be 1 keyframe apart. That was way too slow of a thing. Let's make all these 1 keyframe apart real quick. So there we go. Now I dropped in this one just so we can build something into the shaky part. This is just 1 keyframe apart pans. That's all it is. Looks sort of silly down here, but this is what it looks and sounds like. And that's basically just the things that I really did. Obviously, I'm not going to build the entire thing from scratch again, because it took like 9 hours, and I basically just did all of this over and over and over again with different screenshots, different character rigs, different backgrounds, and different names, but that about covers the entire intro. So, I hope you guys learned something. I'll talk to you next time.